Well, I think we want to get into your wheelhouse now, and that's the dam. Well, Bill, I wanted to ask you about the evacuation, and I was wondering if you could tell us about how that went down in your district and just sort of the timeline and how the events went down.
Well, first off, before the evacuation, I was warned by former DWR employees that the emergency spillway was never meant to be used. It was made to collapse over in case of a catastrophic failure or a 1,000-year event. Say Lake Elminor failed. That was to spill water till the non-compacted dirt washed away. It would flash flood down, but save the dam. So I was on Facebook warning people that God's in charge if they use the emergency spillway. And I did a little math on a napkin and figured out it was going to go over the emergency spillway. So I was really concerned. Most people didn't share my concern. So it was really surprising when the CAO of the county called me and said, Bill, I got to tell you something. You got 30 minutes to an hour and a half to evacuate. I'm moving everybody to Chico. You gotta get out of here. And I'm going, Paul usually was a very calm person. I said, I got to get off the phone. He goes, why do you got to get off the phone? I said, I'm calling my parents. They're 80 years old. They live in Biggs. And from there, I made the decision. I didn't think I'd flood. I couldn't get a flood inundation map. They evacuated my neighborhood out of abundance of caution, which Corey was right to do. But I put a ladder up on my roof, and I stayed there at the computer and the phone and made sure my relatives could move. And then I got a call. They're not letting us go east. So I called Corey, the sheriff. He was under duress. I could tell. He's going, Bill, I got to get off here. And I said, please, you got to let people go east. So the Highway Patrol within 5 minutes called me and said we are allowing people to go east, which was a change. Because my own family, they're trying to make them go to Chico from Thermalito when my sons live up in the foothills, and they were entirely safe there. So it was a pretty stressful night. My wife was pretty, she usually doesn't get very nervous, but she's worried. I said, you can go up that ladder. It'll be okay, But I don't want to make light of it because a lot of people were so scared and so impacted. And I had a town hall where everybody could come and vent, which was a good thing. And I'd really like to see some compensation for that evacuation because it truly was caused by this lack of institutional knowledge by the white hats or the head guys of DWR, not knowing how the dam was designed or how it was built, and making, they could have used it briefly. They could have shut the other one down and checked it. But in the end, it was going to fail. It was doing exactly what it was built to do. So that's my perspective on it.
And how about the evacuation plan? I mean, do you think there was an evacuation plan in place that had been really thought through, or was that kind of cobbled together a little bit at the last minute?
No. Corey had to make a huge decision, draw some lines, because there wasn't, but there is now. Corey's done Corey Hoyne, who I'm referring to, the sheriff, has worked with CAL FIRE, who's good at those type of things because of fires, and DWR, and they've come up with a plan that would do different scenarios if it was just a spillway or if it was the whole dam or whatever. The only evacuation plan or anything I could find was back to 1986. It was a catastrophic event. And again, fortunately, my house would have been on high ground. It would have flooded around me, but not right there. I live right by Las Plumas High School. So, yeah, that plan's in place now. It's hard to say this enough. DWR, I don't dislike them as people. I like people, right? Everyone I meet I like, but just their institutional arrogance and their lack of acknowledgement that this thing could break or could fail or do something wrong. The grass growing through the cracks, beating on it with chains and hammers and calling that a forensic study. They got us to where we were. And then the operations of the dam, 185% of the snow at that time. Warm rain coming. What did they think was going to happen? Inflows of 350,000 cubic feet per second. You're going to be using that spillway. They probably would have been close to emergency spillway if it had rained one more day. I think they would have lost it anyway. One more day of rain would have been catastrophic.